Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Melina Landrio, and I want to thank you all for sharing space with me today. Now, I had a channeled message come through earlier this morning, and I'm being guided to share just the channel today. I'm not going to do any tarot reading with it. However, I may pull some tarot cards to clarify certain aspects of the reading, which is what Spirit's guiding me to do. Now, if I didn't say the date, it's the 19th of December, 2024. 7-11 could be significant. And before I get into the channel, for those of you who are new, who don't know how I channel, I tend, because you're going to see that I'm reading off of a screen, I channeled this earlier today. And the way I channel, I'm usually resting, and I tend to record my channels if I'm resting or if I'm getting a download when I'm on the run. I'll just record it or write it down. And then I come back and I write it out. And this is how I deliver it to you guys. So bear with the results. I'm going to try to read it as best as I can in the way that it's meant to be read. Also, starting this, I just heard a weird noise upstairs in my home. There are people here. Probably just somebody moving around. I feel like someone just stubbed their toe, though. Okay. The energy is very spacey right off the bat. It's very distracting. It's very like you're in the middle of trying to say something and you forget what you're trying to say. This is also very present. I've tried to record this a couple of times now, and I had to restart because I couldn't remember certain aspects and it just didn't make sense, and I had to restart it. Rambling on also. I'm going to try to keep myself in check right now. So there could be something to do with this type of experience that could be perhaps a telltale sign of something that I'm about to suggest. Or it could be an awareness to have in regards to your energetic field and your surroundings. For whatever reason, spell work kind of comes up. So this could be significant. I'll pull some cards. Maybe this comes up in a bit. I'm going to start the download. Now, also, if I didn't say this, again, I don't remember if I said this, memory lapse comes into play in regards to this download. I got really congested right before I started to do this channel, and my throat started to feel like someone's attacking it. So somebody doesn't want me to speak about this, and Spirit's urging me to share it. So it's been bumped to the top of my list of things to do with you guys in regards to the channels I share, the readings I share. So I'm going to get into it now. On a side note, I did go in today, like this afternoon, and I looked up some of the, some things I looked up that were regarding the channel that I'm going to loop back at the end towards to give you that information because I feel like it is relevant, but I want to get the main channel in first before I jump into those aspects. Okay. So 1237 could be relevant as a time stamp, perhaps. Also 1236, 1237. I saw both times when I started getting this channel. And what I was showed, or what Spirit made me aware of, was the vision of a fawn or a doe. Now, when I looked up what a fawn was, it's a baby that's up to 6 months, and a doe is a female deer. But a doe can also be a John Doe or a Jane Doe came up. But I think it's more of a Jane Doe because a doe is a female deer. And this could be relevant for this particular channel and the urgency of why it needs to be illuminated. So what I saw was this deer rose its head. So it was down, and then it was down at first, like when the channel came up, I just saw darkness. And then all of a sudden this head came up and I could see its eyes, these deep, dark eyes. Even though it was dark out, I could see its eyes, and it was nighttime. So maybe this is the time. This is significant, this time frame, nighttime. It rose its head to look at me or towards something where I am existing at this time within this vision. So it was almost like I'm viewing this vision but it's like I'm in the vision viewing it. So I'm able to explore the vision, for lack of a better words. That's what I'm doing. And when I'm looking at this deer is I see there is a body of water beneath the deer. So it's like taking a drink of water. It's likely taking a drink of water. And it just rose its head up to look. So when I saw that or had that awareness, it's like something has created some sort of noise for this fawn to stop drinking its water, to raise its head to witness whatever was there. 11,288 could be significant. So as I'm in my darkened room, Spirit brought to my awareness a reflection of an orange light. It was a single light, an orange color, maybe an amber color, and it flashes on and off, on and off. And when I raise my head is when I see it. Like I have to raise my head to look at the direction where I saw the light to see this reflection of this light. It was a reflection in like a fan or something that I had on my drawer, my dresser. And I see it as I raise my head. I see it, and it's on, off, on, off, on, off. And I thought, like, what is that? Like, it's pitch black. It's nighttime. There should be no light. I hate light in my room. There should be no light. And so I'm looking around, like, is it my phone? I have my phones blinking. There's nothing blinking on my phones. And I'm looking, is there any other gadgets? Maybe my kids left a toy in the room. I'm looking around the whole room, trying to see if there's any light like this. I saw nothing. And so when I started to think about it, I realized that, like, there was nothing in there that could be doing that, making that light. And it made me think of car lights. Maybe like a tail light is out, or one of the front lights was out. Maybe the one on the right is out, if it's on the front, and if it's on the back, maybe the one on the left is out. I started to think about this, and this was just awarenesses that just came into play. And it could very well be the opposing sides. Just that's what came to mind. Actually, at first, I said the left and the left on both the front and the back. But after I said the back being the left, I realized that I think the front is the right. So there was a tripping or a misalignment somehow in relation to the experience of what came to my mind and witnessing it. And then the numbers 32, 1103, 32, 301, and 1244 came into my awareness. And then I started to hear the song Grease Lightning. Tell me more, like does he have a car? Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl as cute as can be. I met a boy crazy for me. Summer days drifting away to oh, what a summer night. Oh, well, oh, well, oh, well, oh. Tell me more, like does he have a car? And this just kept looping. So something about a car, something about love, something about romance. And then I heard the term love bombing. Something to do with a fawn or a deer looking up and drinking water. And then I thought like drinking the Kool-Aid. And I felt that there was a car backing onto this or into this body of water. And one of its tail lights is out. Excuse me for a sec. Sorry about that. Thank you. So for some reason, I feel like I'm seeing a convertible. And I think it starts with a C. I'm seeing cursive writing across the trunk area of this convertible. I don't know what car this is. I tried to look it up and it was taking too much time, and I felt like I just had to get this channel out. And if I was meant to see the make, they would have let me see it. This is supposed to stand out for a reason. But it's like the trunk was like a door that popped open. And I feel like above it, I saw this word in cursive writing. And I believe it starts with a C. And it's around the trunk area of the car. And there is some sort of pink, yellow, pardon me, spiritual burps coming up. Pink, yellow, white, maybe, in a blanket is significant here. Pink and yellow for sure. There might be white. I feel like I'm seeing white. And I felt like this blanket was propped up maybe in the back seat of the car or the trunk, if there was a back seat. It looks like a small convertible, but maybe there was 2 back seats. I wasn't seeing it from the front or the side. I was seeing it from the back. And the trunk I felt was closed. So I felt like this blanket was somehow propped on the trunk or in the back seat. And the blanket is somehow peeking out from these car placements. I feel like the blanket is almost like a quilt, just the way the colors stitched. And then as I said that word in my channel to record it, I tried to say the word stitched together, but what I kept saying was to get her. Stitched to get her. To get her. And I didn't know why I was tripping on that word. And then I realized I was saying to get her. So they're trying to get somebody to get her. Maybe they're using this blanket to get somebody, to get a woman, to get her. We're going to get her. 12:48 to get her. 12:48 a.m. at that time. So I'm not sure what kind of car this is. It starts with a C. It has cursive writing. It's fancy. I consider this car fancy. I think it's like a small compact car too, this convertible. It's not really my kind of car, but they teach their own. It's a silver or champagne color. It's more champagne than silver. And it's hard to tell if the taillight is out because what I'm perceiving is a blanket, and I almost feel it's laid over the car in some sort of way. Like it's draped over in a way. Maybe it's draped over one of the lights, and that's why it looks like there's a taillight out. Maybe it's draped over the left light, and why am I thinking it's the back of the car? Because there's a trunk there, right? And then I feel like the left taillight is out, maybe because it's not that it's out. Maybe whatever this blanket is rolled up. And then I thought maybe somebody's in it. And then I thought, oh, maybe this is getting shady. Maybe a body dropping or something in a body of water is significant. So then I started thinking about the water, and I thought a pond of water maybe, because the deer, the doe is drinking from the water. It seemed calm and peaceful. It doesn't feel like it's a pond though. The water isn't being showed to me so much, and the deer is drinking from it, and it is nighttime. It almost feels like a creek, but it doesn't feel like there's a lot of currents or rough turbulent currents, but I could be wrong. Perhaps directional understanding for whomever this resonates with. Maybe the lack of currents or whatever at this time is a clue in the location or the direction of wherever this is supposed to be taking place. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm also seeing across a body of water as the deer is across the way, and I'm standing here looking at this deer from where I'm standing in this awareness. And I'm seeing under my feet like a sandy beach, or like around me a sandy beach with some stones or some pebbles. And I also see an elevated grassy plain just above the beach. pardon me, there could be a picnic table to the right of the sandy beach on this elevated platform of grass next to the body of water. And there is a tree next to that, and there is a car backed in towards the beach. But I think the car is parked on the grass, not in the sand, or it's trying to avoid the sand. And then I was showed the word Mississippi. So maybe the river, Mississippi River, but the one that's here in Ontario. I mean, it could be the States too, but I don't think, it is because, well, you'll see in a second. Maybe there's a beached area off the riverbank somewhere, off the Mississippi River in Ontario, Canada. I know there's lots of cottages in that area, and that made me think of the deer was in the cottage area, because I was just reminded of cottage country, and then the word Mississippi came to my mind. And I heard more towards the Quebec side, or meaning leaning towards the Quebec side, and I don't know what that means. Maybe a part of the river turns off and veers in separate pathways, kind of became illuminated. I'm not sure. I know it connects to the Ottawa River, and the Ottawa River connects to Quebec, so maybe that's it. But what I got was maybe one pathway goes towards Quebec, and that is why it is across the river. Maybe it's the Ottawa River. I'm not sure if the Mississippi River does. I think it does connect to. I think that river does connect to the Ottawa River, which connects to Quebec. I think that's how it connects. I don't know if the Mississippi River connects to Quebec directly. And when I tried to look it up, I couldn't really find much in the amount of time that I had to do so, and I just left it there. So if you know, let me know below. But I did look up Mississippi, and there's one in the States and one here in Ontario. And I feel like we're talking about Ontario. I'm seeing the blanket with, I wasn't limited with the word though, so who knows? Okay, place it where it fits. I'm seeing the blanket with yellow pink on it, and I feel like there's white on it, and there's some sort of trim. I feel like it's a quilt. Maybe it's a child's quilt, just because of the coloring and the flowers in it. It just feels like it could be a child's quilt or someone's quilt from a childhood memory. I asked for Spirit to show me more, and I saw at 12:53. And what I understood was someone might have come home late, early in the morning, or late at an unusual time. Maybe someone's masculine came home and had a shower extremely late at an off time of day, like of the night, of the early morning. And maybe they drive a convertible, a champagne-colored convertible. 12:55 is significant. 13:29:21 and 13:31:09 could be significant. Then I asked what happened to this person, because I'm understanding there's a body rolled up in a blanket. So I want to know more. 12:56. And I was shown this brunette, and she had this thick wavy hair, a layered hair, bangs, pearl earrings. I feel like she had pearl earrings. Maybe 34 came, like the number 34 flashed. And also she's wearing white. Now, I don't know the material, but maybe you know what this is. There's a plant called lamb's ear, if you know what I'm talking about. It's very soft. The shirt this woman, or the blouse, sweater blouse this woman is wearing, is very soft, like a lamb's ear. The wool of it is very soft. And it's a very soft wool, and she has like 3/4 length sleeves and a boat neck, and it's white. It's a white sweater top. And I also began seeing a big, bold pattern of flowers, maybe a skirt or a lining of a jacket. And I'm also seeing bright pink, whether it's a skirt or a lining of the interior of a bright pink coat, or a skirt with a bright pink trim, something to do with bright pink regardless, and bold flower print. or encompassing it or encompassed by this bold pink. I feel like it might be a coat. A coat that comes with a belt is significant. She's also wearing slingback kitten heels, and she might have a peep toe, and the heels could be 1.5 inches at the most 2 inches, but I feel like it's 1.5 inch heel. And it has gripped attached to the bottom of the heel like a rubber or dark for traction. And the woman I'm seeing reminds me of John F. Kennedy, the president. His wife, Jacqueline, I think was her name. She had this classic beauty and essence about her. This woman looks like she has this classic beauty and essence about her. There's also a popular haircut called, I think it's a shag cut. Yeah, it's a shag cut. And that came to my mind as well, this woman, because she has longer hair than Jacqueline. But she has the bangs and the rich, thick brown hair. Also, the show Real Housewives came to my mind. In particular, Lisa Vanderpump, I think is her name. She has a similar beauty to her as well. Maybe just the brunette hair, the thick brunette hair. But there's a beauty to the two of them that's unique. And also maybe Lisa owns a lot of restaurants or posh restaurants. Like maybe that could be significant here. Maybe even the name Jacqueline or the name Lisa could be significant, or even the name Kennedy, or any of the names I mentioned, like maybe in fragments it could be significant. Hold on a second here. Nine. In a bit, I'm going to talk about tens being significant. And I was just, for some reason, thinking I should count the name, the letters in the name. I don't know. Maybe that's relevant. I don't know why. Anyways, the hair coloring brunette could be very significant because they both those women have that color of hair. So I'm thinking that's why Spirit's showing me them. Also, I'm seeing a pinkish hued lipstick, and I'm seeing something shiny, maybe amber, like an amber stone. Anyways, there's resemblance here between those women and the person that I'm talking about. 1851 could be significant. Then I asked what happened to her, this woman that I'm getting an understanding of. And they showed me rope, and I saw rope burn around the neck and possibly around the wrists. And then I heard she was tied up. She was tied up and rolled up. So I'm not sure what this is that I'm seeing. There could be, there is this blue coloring, maybe a hair tie, something blue. The hair tie reminds me of this 80s, 90s style that I remember seeing, where women would braid their hair, put their hair back, and they would use this clip. And this clip had this bow style on it. And it would just elegantly finish off your braid or however you did your hair. And I recall women putting their hair in French braids with this clip as the hairstyle. So this could be significant. There's also something about a safe, like where you would store something of significance, of value. One in particular that has like a wheel. I've seen a wheel attached to it to open it. So something significant about a safe. 111 is significant at this point of the message. That's the time that it was. Also, 2030, something to do with by tens. I saw 44, I saw 55, I saw 20, and I saw 30, and something about fragments of 10. I don't know what that means, but that's what Spirit's showing me. There's something to do with waiting to use the washroom or restroom is significant. 204820 came up. So the year 2020 could be significant. Maybe the year 2048 and the number 20 could be significant. The age 48 could be significant. 205531 also came up. I keep seeing that flashing light, 121 on my clock, like mirroring numbers again. Shocker, that's been coming up a lot lately. And it's making me think that this vehicle may have driven with their four ways on, like their hazards on for a period of time. Blinking lights, like on, off, on, off. So maybe they drove with their hazards on without the lights on. In this particular car, orange amber, like an orange amber color, is significant in the coloring of the hazards. I don't even know if cars are like that or made like that, but that's like how I'm perceiving the color. Or maybe someone's colorblind and they saw this, and it's interesting actually as I say that, because bear with me for a second, I don't want to lose my spot here. As I started this channel, I asked my partner he asked me if he could make me a tea, and he made me a tea. He doesn't know what I channeled. He doesn't know at all what I channeled. And he ends up giving me this orange cup with various tones of orange, but it's like TNT. Anywho, this could be significant in regards to the coloring, maybe. And I just had like a brain fart here as to why I decided to tell you that. Anyways, weird energy. It's like confusion. It's like I don't want to forget my spot, but I go to do something and then I forget something else. Forgetful energy. Like someone like doing something to cast people to forget, like maybe spells to cast people to forget things. Or anyways, I don't know. So there's this blinking light. So maybe they drove with their hazards on without the lights on. So in this particular car, it's an orange amber, and it's apparently very significant in the coloring of the hazards. And again, I'm not sure if it exists or why. Oh, that's what I was going to say, or why I'm seeing that color. What I wanted to say was, and I'm not going to lose this time, a lot of men are colorblind. Some people are colorblind. And he gives me this orange mug, and I'm seeing orange, like they're saying orange hazard. Maybe somebody who's colorblind saw this car driving with their hazards on and saw the orange lights. Maybe they saw the lights as orange. Maybe that's significant. Maybe somebody who's colorblind. I don't think all men are, but I know a few that are. And I understand that's, well, actually, I don't know if that's a fact. So forget that I just said that. But I know some men are colorblind. And so maybe somebody is colorblind, because I know someone who's colorblind, and that's what I'm being made aware of. And this is a man. So, and then my partner gives me this orange mug, not knowing what my video is about. Also, it has TNT on it. Anywho. It's funny, the little synchronicities that happen when you do a video or when you do stuff like this. Okay, so, but I'm going to go with the flow of this information being received. So the vehicle may have driven a stretch of space before hitting the water with their hazards on and no lights. 122 on my clock at that time. And then I started hearing that song again. She's simply irresistible. She's so fine. Da, 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 da. She's simply irresistible. So, pardon me, somebody can't resist a beautiful woman or a certain type of woman. They are irresistible to them. Now, for whatever reason, I started thinking that this could be a lady of the night. I don't want to get fixated on that that's a must or a prerequisite, because I almost felt like I was fighting that idea as well while I was receiving it, and I don't know why I was combating the idea. So as I'm contemplating that, maybe this is significant. Maybe I'm battling it because perhaps um, whomever this is, if let's say they are a lady of the night or a high profile escort or something, maybe they have no choice and they have to do it. Like it's just something that's necessary, or they feel is necessary for them to be able to make their life work. But maybe they fight it, because I think anybody would fight any type of thing that they would do, especially when it has to do with giving up sacred parts of ourselves. Because that's not an easy thing to have to do, and to be put in a position where you feel like that's where you have to go with your life is a very difficult, hard space. I don't think a lot of people give um, any reflection in regards to the empathy that should be encompassed in making a decision where you feel like you have to devalue yourself to create value in your life. And I mean that with love. I'm not. I've had a lot of contemplation in meeting all sorts of people throughout my life, and I just don't feel like it's a necessary place to sit and judge. And I'm not saying judgment doesn't happen, because people could sometimes put people in danger, and then a judgment can come because of it. But in regards to just trying to do your own thing, do your work, and it feels right by you, or it's all that you can do to achieve at your time in your life, that's something that's not my business. It's really none of our business what anybody is doing, as long as it's not interfering with your life, right? Anywho, so maybe this person is fighting, maybe this is somebody who works like this. And the only reason why I started to see the lady of the night or a high profile escort or stripper or something is I started seeing this room opening up, and it made me think that there could be a powder room, like a light dusting of pink, but I feel like it might also be a dressing room. But then I also saw in the same instance this woman that I saw in the channel, a woman turning around and smiling at somebody as she walked into a room, which looked like a strip row of rooms, a motel maybe, 2 stories. It was a second floor, and you entered the room from the outside, not inside a building. You were walking up staircase to your room, and you were outside before you entered the room. And this was up 1 floor from the ground floor. Choices were made here. It looks like she was freely with this person entering the room. Maybe she met this person at her work, maybe a stripper and the dressing room where she gets ready for work, the pink room, maybe a call center, I don't know, a powder pink room with some sort of silver writing on the door, maybe inscripted with her name, like Destiny. Yes, on Destiny, on the room's door, is what I was shown. So maybe that's significant. I just asked if there's anything else, and I got the sense that they're searching for her. I feel like something about a river's bend is significant. I heard they are searching for her, and she will be at the river's bend. But I also had an experience of being almost dropped into the water, and the water had a shape to the base of the floor, and it appeared as though it was cocooned in a circular dip, or a dive, or a hole in the structure of the floor of the water by this particular part. I'm also seeing what appears to me to be this yellowy color dirt on the perimeter of where the water meets the land. Maybe there's nests of something, bugs or some sort of nesting there. It looks like dirt is shaping or nesting on it. Maybe the roots of something is growing on the land. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks interesting. And I didn't have time to look it up, but if that's significant to you, you can check it out and see if you can find something. I feel like this part of the earth also overhangs some of the water. The water goes underneath a little bit in a circular space underneath, like a hole, like a little cave underneath, a little area where water eroded the land, maybe. So she could be at the river's end, the river's bend. This particular location has what I'm describing here, that is the area where she is, like what I saw with the roots and the what felt like yellow sand. I feel like she's underneath the land slightly, but there's a bend or something, or maybe an overarch to the earth to the water, of the earth to the water. If that makes sense, I don't know. I also felt like before the next full moon is going to be significant, like she'll be found. I don't know when that is. We just had one. We just had a full moon. So I'm feeling like it might be like the 15th or maybe the 12th. And then when I thought that, the number 13 showed up in my head. So maybe the 13th is when it's going to be, or the 13th of January could be significant. 3244. So this afternoon, I had some additional information. So 405 could be significant. I'm being showed a casino and slots and hearing all the bells and the beeps, the noise that you would hear at a casino. And this could be very significant. Also, breath that is steadily labored or constricted could be significant. Breath is trying to catch like homeostasis. Like it's almost like somebody has been running or has been like restricted of full airflow, that they're just trying to catch up to their normal breath and they don't seem to catch it. And before I started to channel this, I experienced chasing energy. So a chase or chasing someone could be very relevant. This could also be an additional channel or a channel linked to the last, like what I just shared with you before I said additional. So it could be linked to the past part. And what I mean by that is that if there's someone going around, let's say a murder happened, let's say something happened, there's a body, okay? This part of the channel is the next episode. And I say that with lack of a better word. That's what it's like, an episode. Like it's almost like a seizure. Like it's something that happens. Like this person can't help themselves who's doing it. If that makes sense. I feel like that's how I heard the word episode or understood the word episode. Like this person's going through like a manic episode, or this person's going through a form of something that they just can't help themselves. The song Simply Irresistible is really relevant. So the next episode in such, the next victim essentially. So I'm seeing and hearing the casino. I heard forward movement. Now, at this point, they want me to clarify forward movement with the tarot cards. So I'm going to do so. And I didn't think this channel was going to be too long, but I feel like it's longer than I was anticipating. So bear with me. We're almost at the end here. I just heard Spirit laughing, like maybe we're not. Okay. Stay focused, Milena. Stay focused. So what is this forward movement? I'd like to clarify this forward movement, please. So we have a 9 of Wands. Any more? What is this? Anything more? We have an 8 of Cups reversed. Ace of Wands. Let's just check this out here. So when I look at the Nine of Wands, it's this man here and all these people coming up against them. And when I look at this Nine of Wands, I feel like this person is having to be strong in their current circumstances. And this is about forward movement, what I'm trying to clarify. So somebody has to be strong in their current circumstances. They're charging forward or standing steadfast. This could be a confrontation of power or skill. And this is also in alignment with, there's the Ace of Wands that came up last as, let's say, what's the word? I'm not trying to do a tarot reading, but the goal or the destiny of the energy. So the Ace of Wands is like it's energy, it's inspiring, it's a lot of vitality. So there's this Nine of Wands where they're standing in a position where they either can't move or they have to charge, okay, or they're being charged. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is vital energy. So they're receiving some form of vital energy from something. Now the Eight of Cups being in the reverse is telling me that maybe there's fear coming to play. This is influencing their movement forward. They're steadfast. They're, what is it? Charging forward, or they're either charging forward or they're standing still. And so we have these two here. And the Ace, Ace, there is an Ace of Wands. But in regards to this one, the fear of change is creating this clinging inability to be able to move forward. So they're avoiding or ignoring. I feel like there's like this guilty conscience coming into play. So maybe, and the wand, the Ace of Wands, expressing the Eight of Wands expressing the energy, right? It's expressing like the beginning, like maybe wherever this started, the beginning of it. It could be encompassing like a space, like a place. It could be related to family. It could be related to like a trauma. Trauma comes up in this. I'm going to be reading something at the end of this that I reflected upon. And trauma comes into play in regards to the beginning of the channel, where I looked up dough, I believe. So I'll talk about that in a moment, but it's like trying to obtain this energy, which is encompassing something. It's this vitality. It's the starting point of everything that they begin with, everything that helps them move forward. This is the starting point of it. And it has an origin. It began somewhere. It could have begun at birth. It could have begun in the family, but this has a starting point. And also like the associations of it, like the energetic components associated with it, is very significant. I might cut off time here soon, so I'm going to just keep going with this. So that's the movement forward. So that's being clarified by, so forward movement. So they're at a standstill. They're kind of stuck like a deer in headlights. Again, the deer could be significant. I'm also noticing that I was slipping on my words when I was doing my channel, and I did slip on my words a little bit during this channel on a previous one. I may have done it in this one too. But what I'm noticing is I feel like this energy is watching my channel. as I'm slipping on my words, and I feel like I'm channeling it because it's somebody else's energy in my energy, and they're slipping on their words. And I feel like this person could be watching my channel drunk because they're not a big fan of mine. They're a hater. And they can't help but watch my channel, though. They're worried that I'm going to say something about something that they have done. And this could be in regards to this movement forward. Maybe I've said stuff in the past that got them like, fuck, she knows something. I don't know. That's what Spirit's letting me know to express. And I feel like whatever's coming up today is very significant to whoever this person is who's in my energy. Because I find whenever I trip on my tongue, it's like an essence of somebody. It reminds me of somebody who's had a few wobbly pops. And I mean, I know that I've once been there where I've had a few drinks, but I don't drink at all anymore. I haven't really had a drink in like definitely over a year and a half now. Maybe it's been a while. So I find it fascinating that this comes up, and then that's the correlation that I make. And Spirit kind of emphasized this today when it came up. So it's like the understanding that you can feel energy when it's in you. Like people don't realize that. It's like when you sit there and you roll your eyes about somebody and you don't think that they can like feel that physical gesture, like the undertone of it. Some people can read energy and feel energy very deeply. I'm one of those people. And just because I don't say anything when I experience people who are rude, or they think they're mocking me, or they think I don't see what they're doing, doesn't mean I don't see it. So I just think that's kind of fascinating in regards to this part of the channel. I found myself slipping on words, and that's because I can feel energy. And I've learned to discern this over time, like being able to do that, right? You think it's you, there's something wrong with you, but then eventually you realize it's not you and it's something else, because it's obvious that you're not drunk or you're not experiencing anything that could lead to whatever that was that you just experienced. And so, you learn to discern when it's somebody else's energy that's in your energy, when you're somebody who can do that. But yeah, I feel this person's hating on my abilities, and they're slurring profanities at the screen, likely right now. Like, fuck you, Melina. Like, hi there, fan. Anyways, this is not not a reflection in the sense of reflection in one's own experience, but it's a reflection of someone's experience is what's coming to mind. It's like an outward, a reflection outward. And this is not the right word, and I'm sorry. If you know the word, please let me know. I couldn't think of it. I couldn't put my finger on it. But there is another word that represents this. And I'm seeing this thing that is making a reflection. So something about reflection is of significance, but it's outwardly, like how I'm reflecting to you and your experience of it is what I'm trying to express. Maybe that is the word. Anyways, I just had illuminated to me that my hip, my thigh, and my buttocks cheek area during this part of the channel. And I was informed that someone has an injury and possibly teeth marks in this area. So the right buttock, side hip area, someone has a bite mark, perhaps a few bite marks there. And I was also told to pull some tarot cards on this. So why does someone have bite marks on their butt cheek? Sorry, guys, I dropped it on the floor. 3 of Wands energy. Oh. Victory. So someone got away, maybe? Because there's a 6 of Wands here. Let's see here. The 3 of Wands. Let me just look here. So the 3 of Wands is somebody asserted force on somebody, on another. Oh, I see. Okay. And then that person became resourceful and bit their ass. Okay. The Three of Wands is an assertion of force. So somebody asserted themselves on another, but this also is about resourcefulness, effort, change, and discovery. So some maybe had a victory because the Six of Wands is about a victory. The Six of Wands is success, clarity, realization, obstacles that can be overcome. So I feel like somebody got away, like something was maybe happening and they got away by biting this person in the butt. So that's the clarification there. The song I don't want a lot for Christmas. Da, 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 ooh, ah. Da, 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 da. And all I want for Christmas is you. This could be significant as well. And also, I heard live wire 437 could be significant. And when I heard the live wire, I started thinking that maybe someone is listening, someone is spying. There's a lot of dead time someone's experiencing, trying to figure something out with regards to a live wire. Because as I was done this channel, I recorded a lot of dead time. And I was like, why did I record that? Why did I shut it off? And that's what that made me connect to. So I'm going to pause this right now to go back to the top. And then I'm going to read you some of the things that I researched. One sec. Okay, so this is the additional information that I go to after the channel just to look up certain words. And I'm going to try to do this in under 5 minutes because I don't have a lot of time left before I lose my recording. Side note. So when I looked up doe, a hare, a rabbit, a ferret, and kangaroos can all be called doe. So when I saw that, the thoughts of the kangaroo mother carrying her child made me think of a pregnant woman for some reason. That came to my mind, as well as rabbits and hares. Like, there's expressions that result in like they do it a lot. That's somehow significant as well. And I don't know about the ferret, but I know that the female has a distinct smell compared to the male. And I don't remember if it's that she smells like strawberries or if she smells like urine. One smells like, I just remember having somebody I hung out with who had a ferret, and I remember it had a smell. Like, they would tell me that it smells. There's the difference. So something to do with that. When I looked up doe, also what came up was the dimensions of openness to emotions, DOE, came to my awareness. So there's 5 dimensions of affect processing. One is cognitive conceptual representation. Another one is perception of internal and external bodily indicators. There's communication of emotions. There's regulation of emotions. And there's normative restriction of emotions. This all came up. Also, as a statistical method used to study relationship between input, output, variables, and effects of relationships, equations, conditions, and responses in chemical development, drug formulation, and marketing. This is all very significant to this download. I looked up fawn. To fawn, someone is praising someone too much and giving them a lot of attention that is not sincere in order to gain a positive reaction. So praising, backhanded compliments, bootlicker came up as examples when I Googled it. Also, fawning behavior is commonly known or seen in trauma survivors, utilized to avoid conflict by preventing arguments, creating a safe zone. So negative mental health outcomes can become with somebody who utilizes these fawning tactics for a long period of time. And this can become like people pleasing in adulthood or codependency. So if it's used for too long over a period of time, this is the downfall of that. And that is what I have for today's channeled message. So please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for all your support. I'm very grateful that you shared space with me today in listening to this channel. And I do hope that this channel helps somebody out there. I do hope I'm wrong about what I'm perceiving in it. But if there is something like this, I do hope this helps find a resolution. So thanks again for sharing space with me. Until next time, take care.